This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're kind of having a conversation about the pending repeal of the Cook County sugary beverage tax, much to the chagrin of Queen Sugar. But also, we were getting some how to commit a crime tips from Amy. Ann B. Davis's bowling ball wants to know if Amy's how to commit crime tips will become a regular segment. You suggested that if you want to murder someone, you should dispose of the body in the Cook County Forest Preserve.
Oh, yeah. But, of course, the homicide should be completed with a MyPillow because you can put it in the washer and dryer right away on a hot cycle with a little bleach and erase all of the evidence.
I don't think that's what
Mike Lindahl had planned.
I don't think what Mr. Lindahl wants you to do with MyPillow. I think he just wants you to sleep on it, not permanently.
Then you dump the body in the Forest Preserve, and then the Forest Preserve investigators, police officers.
Boy, those are fighting words.
Will probably never solve the case.
Words.
No, I'm not homicidal, and I don't have homicidal tendencies. I've just covered a lot of murders, and or you can hit somebody with a leg of lamb and then eat the leg of lamb, serve it for dinner. Huh?
Well, this is an awkward way to bring on our next guest, but maybe he'll have some information that would suggest otherwise. I don't know if Cook County Commissioner Tim Schneider wants people dumping bodies in the Forest Preserve or not. I suspect he doesn't. Tim Schneider, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. No, I don't want to segue into the crime story.
Yeah. Good.
I'd rather talk about something else, something pretty important this morning.
Yeah. Way to resist. By the way, Tim Schneider, also a member of the championship team at the Forest Preserve Foundation outing this summer. Tim Schneider and me.
Right.
And a couple of other gentlemen.
Congratulations.
We won that event.
And what were you, 27 under?
Yeah, something like that.
I think we were something like 27 under, and Dan drove 3 of the par 4s. It's a pretty long ball, Amy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, please note that for the record. This is an official Cook County Commissioner sanctioned statement there. Okay, Tim, so yesterday, 15-1, the insufferable Suffredin, the only Cook County Commissioner to vote to maintain the sugary beverage tax. Was that essentially a straw vote, or are we going to see, do you think, a similar vote today to formalize the repeal?
Well, I think, if you'll pardon the pun, I think yesterday was a really sweet day for the people of Cook County. And, the people of Cook County stood up over the special interests, the Bloomberg ads and everything that was going on around this, and stuck by the people of Cook County. And when this vote passed 8-8, actually it was voted 8-8, and the president cast the deciding vote some time ago. I think the rest of the commissioners listened to the people of their districts and decided this was so unpopular to the tune of 88 to 90% of the people in Cook County opposed this tax that, they had to turn their votes around. Many of them, unfortunately, didn't do it for the reasons that were the main reasons, which was it was driving people out of Cook County. Certain that retailers were going to have to close within the next year, but many of them were just worried about their possibility of re-election, so they changed their vote. And as you just mentioned, it was just Larry Suffredin. It was a 15-1 vote, and I believe that vote will be consistent when it's ratified at the regular board meeting this morning.
So if the sugary drink tax goes away, will those insufferable commercials stop? Or is Michael Bloomberg going to keep flooding our airways with this propaganda?
Well, I can think of the only winner in this whole debate, and that was the television stations that ran these pro and con tax repeal, beverage tax repeal commercials. They must have made a bundle of money.
Well, now, speaking of the Cook County budget, because Tony Preckwinkle is already kind of telegraphing defeat and saying, I continue to work towards a balanced budget, blah, blah, blah. Is it possible? Is it possible to reduce county spending by, say, 1 or 2 or even, God forbid, 3% to make up for any of the projected revenue, as rosy as it was, that was expected from the soda tax?
Well, certainly it is, Dan, and this is something I've been looking forward to for over a decade that I've been on the county board, is really making tough decisions and cutting, like our families in the county have had to cut over the last decade, especially through the recession. The county government has just grown from a $3.5 billion government to an over $5.6 billion government. We're the 19th largest government in the United States, but unfortunately, over the last 2 years, more people have left Cook County than any other county in the United States. So this is our chance. This is our opportunity to cut the county budget and square things with the people and live within our means like they have had to for such a long time. And when you're talking about $200 million in a $5.6 billion budget, I think it should be fairly easy to do as long as the separately elected officials don't continue to come out with, eliminating their most the most important services, that their core services, most important things they provide, and that's what they generally throw out there first instead of looking at the things that will less likely affect the public.
Sure.
So we need to work. It's always the sheriff who wants to eliminate the bomb squad. Then I have 133 police chiefs showing up to hearings. You can't eliminate the bomb squad. You can't eliminate the bomb squad. Or as the assessor said yesterday, he's going to eliminate all the suburban offices.
Yeah.
And then we're going to outcry at people who want to use our suburban offices and don't want to have to drive downtown. So that's what they throw out there first. So
right. They're calling the bluff, right? I mean, this is Thomas Sowell's great formulation. Should we cut vaccinations for children or a statue to Benedict Arnold? Well, let's cut the vaccinations for children because then we can have an outcry about it. We'll protect the vaccinations for children, and we'll also get the funding for the statue of Benedict Arnold. That's the game that the big government spenders always play, and it's your right to identify it and potentially stand up to it. But I wonder if this is if it's frustrating to you that, frankly, not very much attention is paid to Cook County government. It's being paid right now because of this tax and the revolt over it. But are you worried at all that then people will kind of go back to not being as engaged in what's happening with county government as they have been over the last several weeks?
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Dan. There was not this outcry when we raised the sales tax twice. We raised it under Todd Stroger. We repealed it, and then we raised it again under Toni Preckwinkle when she said she would never do that. But there wasn't the outcry. I want to compliment the Beverage Association that stuck to the marching order and made this created this awareness program with the people of Cook County. I think we need to create awareness in Cook County. As I said, nearly 43% of all the people in Illinois live in Cook County, over 5.25 million people. And what we're seeing is this big behemoth that's grown out of it to the tune of, going from $3.5 billion to $5.6 billion dollars in our budget. We have over 23,000 employees. I think it's up to the people of Cook County to tell us and to be our checks and balances and weigh in on things and not let us, sleep under the covers here. And they need to rise up and listen to what's going on in the county. And frankly, we've seen nothing but growth in government, growth in taxes. Look at our pension debt. I mean, people need to rise up at this time and really take a stake in the future, because before long, they're not going to be able to afford to live in Cook County or Chicago or anywhere around here.
Are any names
moving out? Yeah, Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, and they're already doing that.
Are any, sorry for interrupting you. Are any names being floated around as Republican challengers to Toni Preckwinkle for?
Like Tim Schneider?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't. What we are actually looking at candidates. I'm speaking with Sean Morrison, the Cook County chairman, and we're looking at people. It's a tough hill to climb, but she is particularly vulnerable. But as you know, Danny, the numbers are really difficult to overcome. I think I listened to you yesterday on your show, and you said, statewide the numbers are 8% upside down for Republicans, and certainly in Cook County it's at least double that. So you'd have to find somebody who could gain traction on both sides of the aisle. It probably wouldn't be me, because I've opposed the public employee unions since I've been on the county board, and that wouldn't bode well for me.
Well, but yeah, I think it's important, and I know you're also the Illinois State Party Republican chairman. Sean Morrison, you mentioned, is the Cook County Commissioner, is the Cook County chairman. It's important to put a marker down to establish a beachhead, to have somebody that's credible, even if they're, even if the incline is particularly steep, which it is running in Cook County. Obviously, there hasn't been a Republican Cook County board president since Ogilvie in, I think, 1966.
So we're due.
Yeah.
I would say this, Dan. I would say if we
So-
can find a credible candidate, I'm 100%.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
Because there needs to be checks and balances. And Tony Preckwinkle, who came in as a reformer, so-called reformer, 8 years ago, has turned out to be everything but a reformer. And there need to be some checks and balances. And I'm hoping we can find a competent, credible candidate to run against her.
And as state party chairman, I got to ask you about the governor as well and what you think about the revolt, frankly, within the party against Governor Rauner.
Well, I think this was all designed by Mike Madigan over the last couple of years. He hatched up, this immigration, the Trust Act bill, and now HB 40 to just divide the party. And unfortunately, he's been effective in doing that. And I think my job as state chairman is going to be to try to bring everybody together, because if we really want a progressive income tax, if we want to see AFSCME and SEIU run rampant all over the state of Illinois, and not let the people, represent themselves and see, as we've seen since the year 2000, 1.2 million people have left the state of Illinois. We want to see that decline continue. Well, then that's what we need to do, is divide ourselves and let J.B. Pritzker and Mike Madigan continue to control the state and have the status quo for another decade. Let them control the map in 2020, and then you'll see the demise of Illinois. We need to stay together as Republicans, not let Mike Madigan and these bills divide us, and rise up and strike back and reelect the governor, and where we can, pass really conservative policies once we take over the House, which is another thing that you're working on with us, Dan, and that's to try and get good candidates and take the House in 2018. And if we can win 9 seats in the House, we take over the House, and then Madigan is gone. And then we can really talk about turning Illinois around, turning the ship around, and reforming the state of Illinois. And it's very, very possible if and only Republicans stay together.
He is Cook County Commissioner and Illinois Republican State Party Chairman Tim Schneider. Tim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.